quarter of a mile in a race, you're going upstairs, and you're going upstairs forever. It's a stairway to hell, as far as I'm concerned. 3 flights of stairs, totaling, I think now, 680 steps. The good runners, the great runners, will be able to run up it.
It's pretty unreal. I can go out my front door and my options are limitless. I can go down to the ocean, I can run through the redwoods, I can run over the headlands and just experience so many different types of terrain.
Gorgeous views. Then down by the bay itself, it's just really cool runs along the water.
It just doesn't happen in too many places in the world.
The Bay Area is a really unique spot because you have access to these, tremendous trails right across the Golden Gate Bridge and also in the East Bay. And then in addition to that, you're right by a world-class city, which is just filled with all sorts of things to do. Marin County is just north of San Francisco, and there are all sorts of trails you can run here. Today we're running the Dipsea Trail, which is a really famous trail here in Marin County.
The Dipsea Race is one of the oldest races in the country. It's the second oldest race in US, but it's the oldest trail race. It's very special. It's very special to this community.
It's famous for its steps, which are relentless. There are several flights of them. I'm an ultra runner. I primarily focus on trail, and I live in Mill Valley, California.
I live in Oakland, California, and I'm an ultra runner specializing anything from a 50K to 100 miles.
You can experience such diversity in terrain, even in the course of a single run. It's pretty unreal. I can go out my front door and come out to the Dipsea Trail and run through the redwoods, and ultimately it ends at Stinson Beach.
We'd sound biased, but we feel like it offers some of the best trail running in the country, partially because the trails are endless here in terms of the beauty that it offers and the endless variety, as well as the all year round running. Here we are, November, and it's clear blue skies day, and it's a great day to go out running.
So what's one of your favorite places to run up here?
There's nothing like the view that Mount Tam offers, for sure. I think with my lifestyle and having a kid and everything that I try to balance in my life, the Marin Headlands is what I tend to run the most on, just given that it's easy access and it's also just great running and challenging. It's literally right across from the Golden Gate Bridge. So from San Francisco City, you can look across and everyone sees the Golden Gate Bridge, but in the background, you also see the beautiful Marin Headlands. And I think that's an appeal for anybody from around the world. I think also we see it from folks from San Francisco. This is the playground that they want to come to. It's the most accessible to, and it's hard to beat because the views are absolutely stunning. And it's just this great area of rolling big hills that's got long sustainable climbs and descents with great views of the city on a single dirt track trail or views of the Pacific Ocean, and various beaches and hidden little gems that are nice to go to and enjoy a good run.
And then the North Face Challenge.
Yeah, the 50 miler. I mean, there's essentially a variety of different distances they offer, but the 50 miler attracts a lot of the top ultra runners from around the world.
And that race is coming up too, right? It's in
3.5 weeks.
Yeah. Are you gonna run?
Yeah, I'm gonna race it.
Cool. Can you show us around the store a little bit? I see a lot of cool photos, some hardware up there.
Yeah. Well, perhaps we should start over here. I think this is a great little area. The founder here is Brett. Right when he ran the Quad Dipsea, he won the Quad Dipsea, and he was wearing one of the original shirts just before the shop was open. And all of these photos here, which are great moments captured all by Brett, who he took himself, and various trophies of the Dipsea race, from winners as well as the fastest time by a local fast runner, Alex Varner. Yeah, and then there's Quad Dipsea 2013 when Brett went back and was #1 because he won the year before.
That's awesome.
Definitely speak on it a little bit much better than I.
Hey, he was telling me you won the quad before?
Yeah, it must have been a really low turnout that year.
Oh man, I know. I've run one way, and it's hard. I can't imagine doing 4.
Yeah, I'd say you have more common sense than I do than just doing it one way. But the Dipsea is a classic. It's a must-do trail, whether you're just visiting the area. If you can get into one of the races, the original Dipsea, the double Dipsea, which is usually about 2 weeks later now in June, or the Quad Dipsea, which is kind of the classic mountain running ultra that we have here on Mount Tam.
So it starts in downtown Mill Valley, which is a really cool town.
Yeah, I mean, Mill Valley is an incredible place. We feel like it's this little hamlet of trail running. You have the most, famous trail in the area going right out of town from Mill Valley to Stinson Beach. Conversely, there's a group of us that gets together once a week and heads up a different flight of stairs right from downtown and runs up to the summit of Mount Tam. Every week as well. So there's a breadth of options, though you're going to be climbing pretty much from the get-go.
I had to get up pretty early, 5 a.m., meeting across the street from Equator Coffee.
Workout or
No. He's running here.
He ran 36 last week. Oh yeah, it was just 3 months. Yes.
Insane.
I like it.
That wasn't quite what I was expecting.
This was not your ordinary group run. I think a lot of these people were professionals. One of the guys went ahead and he set a record for that run.
Which is about 3 miles, a little more.
But it goes up more than 2,000 feet in 3 miles.
Yeah, making it to the top, definitely worth it.
Yeah, unreal. Like sunrise from Mount Tam. You get to see the entire Bay Area with the fog rolling over.
And not bad coffee afterwards.
Right, yeah, it's fantastic.
So you lived here for like 2 years, right?
Yeah, I lived in the Bay Area for 4 years, in Marin for 2, in the East Bay for 2. Marin County gets a lot of attention as a really good place to run, the headlands, the Dipsea, but it's actually really good all over the Bay Area, the South Bay, the East Bay with Tilden Park, Mount Diablo. And then running in San Francisco is also really unique and interesting. There's Crissy Field, which is just beautiful view of the Golden Gate.
There was just a stream of people running along, but you have to stop at the Golden Gate Bridge. I thought it was really cool to see those hands there.
Yeah, Hopper's hand.
Ken Hopper, he's a iron worker on the Golden Gate Bridge. Yeah, wanted to give people a reason to reach that gate.
It's sort of become the thing to do for runners when they hit that point. They hit the hands and turn around.
Yeah, and even a little set of paws for the dogs.
And Golden Gate Park kind of reminds me of Central Park. It's a huge, massive park in the middle of the city. A great place to run for people who live in the city.
And your own little personal circuit there if you want to do some interval work.
Yeah, and then trails right off that with all the beautiful eucalyptus trees. They hold a bunch of cross-country meets there. The U.S. Club Cross-Country Championships are coming up, and that's going to be held in Golden Gate Park.
Oh, yeah. Just like 20 minutes outside the city, you're on these trails.
Well, the cool thing about Marin for a trail runner is no matter where you live, anywhere in the North Bay, before even running like half a mile on the roads, you just out your door, you're in the trails. The Dipsea Trail is just right over there, just a few blocks away. The race starts here downtown and then leads into Old Mill Park, which is just right down the road, and then up the stairs.
In 1987 was the first time I met Jack Kirk. That's when I think he was, 80 years old then. The only way I could communicate with him was by mail because he has no electricity, no power, no running water on his property other than the creek that ran through his thing. He started and completed 67 consecutive Dipsea races. I think the last time he finished the race, he was 95.
You were actually currently sitting here at Parkside.
We're about, 100 yards from the finish line?
100 yards, yeah.
Breakfast is pretty good here, too. It's a buzzing town. It's sort of a festival. We sort of call it in Marin, it's sort of the Super Bowl of Marin, the Dipsea is. The Dipsea is the traditional race. It still follows to this day pretty much the original trail that the Miwok Indians created. We have to limit it to 1,500 runners, and we probably get a waiting list each year. Anywhere between 600 to 1,000 people trying to get in. And it's a difficult race to get in. The best way to get in is to get in the race and then do well in the race because then you get back, you get invitational status. This record, which is 67 consecutive races running at Dipsea, I would swear, I'll tell you what, that probably Joe DiMaggio's hitting streak will probably be broken before anyone breaks this record of Kirk's. You got people come up to him and congratulate him afterwards, and people asking, kids, 6, 7, 8 years old asking for his autograph. Wow. He's a rock star, and he's, at that time he was 95, 96 years old, and he's almost like the Saint Nick of the Dipsea, because you sort of, the Dipsea's not over until Saint Nick finishes the race type thing.
And there's all some mythical
and all the celebrations, the anticipation of the Saint Nick coming. But the year he didn't make it, I believe he was 96. Having met Jack and known him, I could just see in his eyes that, it was like, this is it. I've surrendered. It wasn't so much Father Time beating, it was more the Dipsea beating for the first time, and that was hard to accept because he, competing in the Dipsea is not only about winning it but surviving it. He's the most beloved figure in the most historic trail race in America.
So I came to the Bay Area in '97. I came here for college. I went to UC Berkeley. I was on a team that would come out to Marin to do a long run on the trails that I now spent a lot of time. But little did I know that there was so much more to Marin than what I did in college. I married someone who's from Marin, so I quickly learned all the amazing trails that are on this mountain.
Right now we're sitting right on one of the more rugged and relentless parts of the Dipsea Trail.
Right below Cardiac.
It's definitely one of the tougher climbs on the trail itself.
But once you get to the top of Cardiac, you get rewarded with this amazing view of the ocean. And then you head down all the way to Stinson Beach on a very technical descent. It's pretty challenging, but it's so worth it.